Des, back in Panto at the Kings this year. What can we tell us about your character?
My character this year is wishy-washy, and I feel they're giving me all the intelligent characters. It's like Shakespeare. No, wishy-washy's great. He's the audience's pal, and he's the one that gets them all cheering and up for it, and I love that. And I love the song sheet bit. If anybody's been to Panto before, it's that bit near the end where you get the audience to sing along and dance. And I did this for the first time last year as Buttons, and there's a lot of crossover with the two parts. And what I love is seeing the most cynical people in the Panto audience, like the parents or the uncles or the cousins or the teachers that are just saying, I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm not even going to say it's behind you. And then you go, right, the only way we can get to the end of the show if we all stand up and dance. And they think you're joking. And then about a minute later, they're dancing and singing and doing little moves and wiggly worms and all that. That, to me, is just magic. And it's that world of Panto where everyone gets drawn in. So that's what Wishy Washy is. He's there to help the story, help the audience, and just generally be a daft boy.
And obviously you've got a background as being a comedian. Do you bring a lot of that humour to the show? Do you bring a lot of jokes to the script?
I can bring some of my stand-up comedy to the show, but not all of it. That's saved for the other shows that I do. But yeah, I mean, do you know what? Being a stand-up helps so much with this because Panto is a kind of crossover, I think, between old variety, proper acting, and also stand-up comedy, especially my part, because you're directly interacting with the crowd and getting them on board. So yeah, I bring elements to that, and we're in the rehearsal process now, and myself and the likes of Karen Dunbar, Gavin Mitchell, various others, working away at the script and seeing, right, is there a joke for that? Oh, well, I've got one that's quite good for that, or actually I've thought of a line. So it's quite a nice process where we're all chipping in different ideas for gags and how to make things funnier. So from that point of view, being a stand-up definitely helps. Although I don't usually do stand-up in tights and makeup. But after this, I could be the new Scottish Eddie Izzard, so this might be my future direction now.
Is Panto quite hardcore because you do have to do a few shows a day and go on stage and be happy all the time in front of a bunch of kids? You know, how does it feel to be in Panto?
Panto is not an easy ride, I'll tell you that. Last year was the first time I did it, and of course I'm still doing my Capital breakfast radio show in the morning. So I do that and then come and it's 2 show days all the time. So you get the matinee and the evening show, and there's a few 3 show days thrown in there as well, just to confuse you and make you feel alive. And as you say, I don't think you can lie to any audience, and you especially can't lie to kids, so you've always got to be on all the time. So whatever it is you do, whether it's, you know, from doing the stand-up or the radio, or especially doing the Panto, you've always got to have those high energy levels. So yeah, as much as it's a lot of fun, it is hard work, and that's why doing it last year made me respect even more all the performers that do this year in, year out, and there's some veterans in this production and in others. So to be a part of that's great, but I learned a lot last year. I learned how much I sweat, which I didn't realise.
You're sweaty Betty.
Oh, I knew that, you know, like most men, I perspire, and it's a sign of good health, by the way. So I must be hell of a healthy, because last year you come off and you didn't realise, you know, I wish I could take a pedometer on stage and see how many steps and miles I cover in a show, because you're running about, and I'm this daft character that's jumping about like an idiot. He's getting thrown about, his ears getting tugged, he's getting chucked here and there. So I realised last year, this is actually hard work. So I think at the end of this, I'm going to bring out like a Panto fitness DVD, where it's just, it's behind you. Oh no, he isn't. Just do all the moves, because fit as a fiddle at the end of it. And it's a workout. It is hard work, but it's great fun.
And finally, after all the hard work is done and dusted, how are you going to spend Christmas?
Christmas, well, do you know what? It's funny because I'm working all through Christmas, and this is the way it's been for a few years, especially with Panto. So we're on Christmas Day, we're on Boxing Day, and I'm live in the radio on Christmas Day. So in between that, I'll probably see my family, see my girlfriend, hopefully take the tights and makeup off for a few hours and just lay flat out in front of the telly, eating and watching Doctor Who. But that's going to be it. I mean, everyone says, oh, we're going to have a quiet Christmas. But I think I'll need to have a quiet Christmas, because I've only got a few hours, and it's just a case of, and relax, because then I'm right back into it.